Hi, I'm Peter from Physical Therapy Ireland, and I'm going to demonstrate how we're going to do the plank exercise today. Now the plank is one of those exercises that when you look at it, you're thinking it can be easily imitated and you're like, easy. But trust me, from my own experience, people always leave out the vital components to doing the plank, and that way they're not maximizing the exercise, they're not getting any real benefit from it, or actually they're running the risk of becoming injured. So I'm going to begin by demonstrating the easiest variation of the plank because that's the only way you're going to develop the proper technique. Enjoy. Right, so to start things off, let's do the easiest variation of the plank exercise. So instead of using the floor, we're going to use the wall. Now I recommend everybody, regardless of your fitness levels, to do the plank against the wall first so you can perfect the technique. That way you become familiar with what parts of the body should be contracting, and then you'll be able to implement that then into the harder variations of the planks that you're typically used to doing. So let's get started. So place both hands shoulder width apart against the wall, and make sure as well that your wrist is in line with your shoulder. You've got to make sure as well that the whole length of the spine is in line with your pelvis so that your bum isn't sticking out or your shoulders aren't rounded forward. Just keep a nice straight spine. And now when you're in this position, have the muscles between your shoulder blades contract. Okay, so you have that first activation. Now we're going to get the tummy to contract gently and then the bum as well. And now finally what we're going to do, we're going to gently push the weight of our body into our heels. So now you can feel the upper thighs here contracting as well, and that's the full plank. And you're going to hold that then for as long as you can. You can time yourself as well so you can monitor progression throughout each week. But remember, this is the easiest variation to the exercise as well. So if you have a high level of fitness, you probably won't feel a lot of stuff going on here on the tummy. This is all about perfecting the technique. Now if you're happy to stay in this easy stage, I'm going to show you a couple of progressions now so you can make this into more of a workout. So all I want you to do, as you're in this full plank position, very simply, all you got to do is walk back a bit more. Legs are straight, feet are shoulder width apart. Walk your hands down a small bit to keep the wrists in line with the shoulders, and just hold that position, holding those 4 points contraction throughout the whole exercise. Now because I'm more parallel to the floor, it makes it a bit more difficult there along the tummy. The second progression now, again when you're in this full plank position, holding those 4 points of contraction again, you're going to slowly bring one arm to the other shoulder, and now you're going to balance on one arm. And I'm connecting this arm with the rest of the core, and I can feel that more now activating on the left side. I can now slowly transmit the weight over to my other side, hand on the shoulder, and I'm connecting this right arm to the core here as well, and I can feel that now activating on the right side. The third progression as well, as you're in this position, you can now lower yourself down onto your forearms. Okay, you got to make sure as well to keep the body as straight as possible throughout the whole exercise. We don't want the torso or the pelvis to twist too much, so keep the body as straight as possible. So now keeping those 4 points, contraction again, it's very important. Push the heels back as well to get that fourth contraction as well, the upper thighs tight. Okay, you're going to slowly lower yourself down onto your forearms. Hold it there for a few seconds if you like, and then very slowly push up with the same arm, very slowly, keeping the whole body straight. Then you're going to go down with the other arm, keeping the body straight again, and then push up with that arm again. And keep on repeating that then throughout the whole exercise. You really feel that working a lot more along here. Do that there for a couple of weeks before you progress to the more difficult exercise. So now we're going to increase the difficulty of the plank. Remember at the wall plank, the body was roughly this parallel with the floor, but to make this more difficult now, we've gone more parallel with the floor again by using a couch, maybe a sofa, or maybe a low-rise wall. Now remember, we're still going to maintain those 4 points contraction throughout the whole exercise as well, and we're going to monitor our breathing. Okay, so get into position. You're going to have your hands shoulder width apart, wrist in line with your shoulders, straighten out your legs and have your feet shoulder width apart. And now we're going to keep our spine in line with the pelvis as well, make sure the bum isn't sticking up. Okay, now we're going to get the muscles between the shoulder blades to contract. Okay, we're going to squeeze our bum, we're going to squeeze our tummy, and now we're going to slowly push our heels back towards the floor until we get that contraction on both thighs. And that's the full plank hold there, and you're going to maintain that then for as long as you can. Now if ever you find you have a bit of discomfort in your lower back, what you can do is stick the bum up a small bit until that pressure is gone, and you can stick within that range then as well, carry on with your workout. But still, after making that change, and if you have a really good plank technique as well, but there's still a bit of discomfort in the lower back, then don't continue on doing the stage and instead stick to the wall plank. What I also might recommend is visiting your local physical therapist, because there may be a bit of pelvic dysfunction or spinal dysfunction in the lower back, and that's going to prevent you from progressing on. Now if you're happy to stay in this stage, we're going to do the same progressions we did in the wall plank. Of course now it's going to be a lot harder because we're more parallel to the floor. Okay, so let's get started here again. We're going to get into a plank position, maintain those 4 points again of contraction. Okay, and now we're going to slowly put one hand on the opposite arm. We're going to hold that position. I feel that more on my left side now. Then again you're going to transmit the weight slowly over onto the other side. Make sure that the body doesn't twist at any stages. Okay, keep the body nice and straight, and keep on repeating that then, and you really feel that a lot more. The next stage then as well is going on your forearms. So again, get into the plank position. Keep the body dead straight. Don't let the pelvis twist or the torso twist. And slowly lower yourself down. Hold it for a few seconds if you like. Then you're going to push back up with the same arm. And then we're going to do the same then with the opposite side as well. Making sure as well, if you want a bit more balance, a bit more stability, you can spread the feet out a bit more. Right, so we're at the last stage. Our bodies are fully parallel now with the floor. It's the exact same thing again, guys. We're going to maintain the 4 points contraction of the whole body and focus on our breathing. Okay, so let's get into position again. Hands shoulder width apart again. Feet shoulder width apart as well. Now we're going to contract the mid-back, the bum, the tummy, and now slowly bring the heels back towards the floor to contract the upper thighs. And we're going to maintain that position. Now if you like, you can hold that position, you can time yourself, monitor your progression each time as well. But after you do this for a good while, maybe a minute or so, your body will start to shake a lot, your form will start to reduce a small bit, and you feel you're starting to fail. And that's an indication now you've reached your maximum, you need to stop, take a break for maybe 30 seconds or so before you continue on doing it. Again, if there's any lower back discomfort, what you can do again, okay, is stick the bum up a small bit and see if that alleviates the pressure or the discomfort there. If it doesn't, it might mean that this stage is too difficult for you. Don't continue on doing it within this stage and progress maybe to say to the couch or the small wall at more of a vertical angle to the floor. Okay, so there you are. We have the 3 variations to the plank. Just remember that you stick to a stage you're most comfortable with and then stick with that for a few weeks before you advance to the next stage. So thank you very much for watching. If you do like these videos, please subscribe below.